Hello everyone, now our next chapter is acid and bases. First we will read the Arrhenius concept of acid and bases. Arrhenius, a Swedish chemist, was the first to define acid and base in aqueous solution. According to Arrhenius, an acid is defined as a substance which contain hydrogen and which when dissolved in water give H positive ions. Accordingly, all mineral acid like HCl, HNO3, H2SO4 containing hydrogen when dissolved in water, dissociate completely into H positive ions. Arrhenius named these acids which dissociate completely in water as strong acids. There are other acids like acetic acid, carbonic acid, and phosphoric acid which, when dissolved in water, do not completely dissociate into ions. As a result, an equilibrium is set up between the ions and the undissociated acid molecules as shown. Arrhenius names these acids as weak acids. According to Arrhenius, a base is a substance which contains hydroxyl group and which when dissolved in water gives OH negative ions, that is hydroxyl ions. The other substance like NaOH, QH which when dissolved in water dissociate completely to give hydroxide ions. Arrhenius named these bases which dissociates completely in water as strong bases. They are substances which do not completely dissociate into hydroxide ion. Arrhenius named these substances as weak bases, for example, substances like NH4OH, magnesium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide, aluminum hydroxide do not dissociate completely to give OH negative ions and then can be written as H positive obtained from the acids and OH negative obtained from the bases combined together to form an unionized water. Arrhenius described this combination of H positive and OH negative ions as neutralization reaction. Arrhenius concept is very simple and to apply and explain the number of phenomena like neutralization, hydrolysis of salt, strength of acids and bases. However, there are certain limitations which are described below. First, Arrhenius concept of acid and base is applicable only in aqueous solution. The concept fails to explain the acid or basic behavior of substance in non-aqueous medium such as liquid ammonia, liquid sulfur dioxide, alcohol, etc. Arrhenius concept failed to explain the acidic character of substance like CO2, SO2, SO3, etc. and basic character of substance NH3, sodium carbonate, calcium oxide, etc. Next is Arrhenius concept also fails to explain the reaction between an acid and base in the absence of water. For example, NH3 plus HCl give rise to NH4Cl. Although Arrhenius concept for acid and base suffers from a number of limitations, yet the concept is very useful and informative for an elementary approach. Next is Bronsted-Lowry concept. Arrhenius concept of acid and bases was further improved by Bronsted and Lowry. Both Bronsted and Lowry in 1923 incidentally introduced the same definition for acids and bases. According to Bronsted-Lowry concept, an acid is a substance which can donate a proton, whereas a base is a substance which can accept a proton. In other words, an acid is a proton donor, whereas a base is a proton acceptor. As a result, Lowry-Bronsted concept is sometimes called the proton donor acceptor concept. It is represented as the curved arrow shows how electrons must rearrange to result in the transfer of hydrogen atom from the acid to a base. The unshared pair of electrons on the nitrogen of ammonia is attracted by a partial positive charge on the hydrogen in the polar hydrogen fluoride molecule. A comparison of the structures of the reactants and products show that the hydrogen atom which was bonded to chlorine in the reactant is bonded to nitrogen in the product. Thus, the proton has been transferred from chlorine to nitrogen. To act as Bronsted-Lowry base, a species must have at least one unshared pair of valence electrons so that it can form a covalent bond to the proton. To act as Bronsted-Lowry acid, a species must contain at least hydrogen atom that is attached to an atom which is more electronegative than hydrogen. In this case, HCl loses a proton and it is an acid. Ammonia accepts a proton from HCl and it is a base. It is important to note in the above example that water acts as a base with respect to HCl and H2SO4. Interestingly, water acts as an acid with respect to ammonia. Such a substance which can act as both acid as well as base is called amphoteric or amphiprotic substances. Next is conjugate acid-base pair. Let us re-investigate a reaction between an acid and a base. HCl being an acid donates a proton. HCl being An acid donates a proton from Cl negative, and where ammonia being a base accepts a proton and form ammonium ion. Now the chloride ion has a tendency to accept the proton, whereas ammonia has a tendency to donate a proton. In other words, an acid donates a proton and becomes a base, and a base accepts a proton, becomes an acid. Thus, a base formed from an acid is regarded as conjugate base of the acid. Similarly, the acid formed from a base is called the conjugate acid of the base. In the example above, HCl and NH3, Cl negative is the conjugate base of HCl and NH4 positive is the conjugate acid of the base NH3. Acid and base that are related by the loss or gain of H positive ions are called conjugate acid base pair. In the above example, HCl is the acid since it donates a proton, and Cl negative is a conjugate base. Water accepts the proton and hence it is a base. Thus, H3 positive ion is a conjugate acid. A strong acid has a weak conjugate base and vice versa. Here are some examples of conjugate acid and the base pairs. Now, here is the limitations of Bronsted-Lowry concept. Although Bronsted-Lowry concept could explain the shortcomings of Arrhenius concept, yet it could not answer some of well-established reaction. For example, it cannot explain the reaction between acidic oxides like CO2, SO2, and SO3 with the basic oxide like CaO, BeO, and MgO, which takes place even in the absence of water. Clearly, in the reaction between CO and SO3, there is no proton transfer involved in the reaction. Second is the acidic nature of compounds like BF3, FeCl3, AlCl3. Next concept is Lewis concept of acid and base. According to Lewis concept, an acid is a substance which can accept a pair of electron. A base is a substance which can donate a pair of electron. In other words, an acid is an electron pair acceptor. It means that a substance which has vacant orbitals to accommodate one or more pair of electrons can act as a Lewis acid. On the other hand, a base is an electron pair donor. It means that any substance with unshaped pair of electrons can behave as a Lewis base. Thus, the acid-base neutralization reaction involves the formation of coordinate bond between the electron pair donor and electron pair acceptor. For example, the reaction between boron trifluoride and ammonia is a typical Lewis base reaction. Lewis acid. According to this concept, Lewis acids are classified as molecules having central atom with an incomplete octet of electrons. Boron trichloride, boron trifluoride, aluminum trichloride, etc. are the acids of this type. Second is simple cations. All the cations are short of electrons and can behave as a Lewis acid. Large size cations like Na positive, K positive, calcium 2 positive, barium 2 positive, etc. behave as weak Lewis base. This is because these have little tendency to accept electrons. On the other hand, small size cation H positive, Ag positive, Li positive ions have a strong tendency to accept the pair of electrons and are strong Lewis acids. In addition, highly charged cations have a higher tendency to accept electron pair relative to lower charged cations of the given metal. For example, Sn4 positive is stronger Lewis than Sn2 positive. Some of the typical examples of Lewis acid base reaction are given below. Next is molecule in the central atom has available d orbitals and may acquire more than 8 electrons. Compounds such as AlCl3, SiF4, SnCl4, SbF5, and SO3 are Lewis acid where the central atom can expand their valence shell. Next is molecule with a multiple bond between atoms of dissimilar electronegativity. Carbon dioxide represents an interesting example of double bond between the carbon and the more electronegative oxygen atom. Oxygen, being more electronegative, has a tendency to attract the shared pair of electrons more towards it in the CO2. As a result, it acquires positive charge on the carbon atom and becomes electron deficient and attaches with the oxygen of the hydroxide ion. Similarly, sulfur trioxide acts as a Lewis acid towards water. Lewis base, negatively charged anionic species. The greater is the charge density on the anion, the stronger is the base. Second is neutral molecules with one or more than one unshaped pair of electrons. Alkenes and alkynes with multiple bonds to form coordinate bond with metal ion in organometallic compounds. Acid-base reactions of Lewis concepts are below. There are several disadvantages which are discussed below. Lewis concept is too general and consider all reaction forming a coordinate bond to be acid-base reaction. This is however not true always. According to Lewis concept, some of the transition metals that form compounds with carbon monoxide such as nickel CO4, FeCO5, etc. are acid-base reaction, which is not correct. Formation of a coordinate bond between an acid base is the basis of Lewis concept. However, the well-known acid like HCl, HNO3, do not form any coordinate bond with the bases such as NaOH. Accordingly, HCl, HNO3, should not be recorded as acid according to Lewis concept. Next is Lewis concept does not give any uniform scale of acid and base strength. Next is Lux-Flood concept of acid and base. According to Lux-Flood concept, an acid is a substance which can accept an oxide whereas base is a substance which can gives up oxide. According to Lux-Flood concept, substances that show a tendency to lose as well as gain an oxide ion are termed as amphoteric. Zinc oxide represents an interesting example of amphoteric nature. For example, zinc oxide can lose O2 negative ion to form Zn2 positive. In addition to zinc oxide gaining an O2 negative ion to form ZnO2 negative zinc cation. Also, Al2O3 can behave both as an acid and a base in Lux-Flood, same as hence act as amphoteric. Next is Usanovich concept of acid and base. Usanovich concept of acid and base is very general and takes into consideration at all the concept of acid and bases proposed by Arrhenius, Bronsted and Lowry as Lewis acids. In addition, Usanovich concept includes all oxidizing as acids and all reducing as bases. According to Usanovich concept, an acid is a substance that reacts with base. Second, gives up cations. Third, accept anions. Similarly, Usanovich concept defines a base as a substance that reacts with acid, gives up anion, or combines with the cations. Usanovich concept is very useful as it classifies all examples of acid and bases together. However, it is too general. This is because it considers even the oxidation reduction that is redox reaction as acid-base reactions. Next is solvent system concept. An acid is a substance which either by direct dissociation or by interaction with the solvent gives the cationic characteristics of the solvent. A base is a substance which either by direct ionization or by the interaction with the solvent gives the ionic characteristics of the solvent. The characteristic cations and anions of the solvents are the ions produced during the autoionization. The prefix auto means itself. To illustrate this concept, let us consider the autoionization of some protonic and non-protonic solvent. That is NH3 plus NH3 gives rise NH4 positive is the acid and NH2 negative that is azide is the base. For example, HCl behaves an acid in water solvent and it gives the cationic characteristics H3O positive of water. Here are the examples of this. Now the types of solvent. Solvents are classified in a number of ways on the basis of their physical and chemical properties. Broadly, there are three ways in which solvents can be classified. First is protonic and aprotic solvents. Solvents which contain hydrogen and can lose hydrogen in the form of proton are called protonic solvents. Common examples of protonic solvents are water, NH3, H2S, HF, etc. Solvents from which hydrogen cannot be obtained in the form of proton are called protonic solvents. Common examples are CH3CN, C6H6, etc. Solvents like N2O4, SO2, and CCl4 are called aprotic solvents. Acidic, basic, and amphoteric solvents. Solvents which have a strong tendency to give protons are called acidic solvents. Examples are H2SO4, HFCH, acetic acid, etc. Solvents which have a strong affinity for protons are called basic solvents. Examples are ammonia, hydrazine, pyridine, etc. Solvents which display both acidic and basic properties are called amphoteric solvents. So, examples of water, methyl alcohol, etc. Next is ionizing and non-ionizing solvents. Solvents which undergo self or autoionization are called ionizing. Examples are water, ammonia, HAF, sulfur dioxide, etc. Solvents which do not ionize are called ionizing solvents. Examples are benzene, carbon tetrachloride, etc. Now, next topic is relative strength of acids. The strength of protonic acids can be compared easily by the tendency of acid to give protons. Protonic acid like HCl, H2SO4, HNO3 ionize completely to give protons, whereas acids like CH3CO3, HF, and HCN ionize completely to give protons. The acid which ionize the acid which ionize either completely or a very large extent are named strong acid. On the other hand, acid which ionize to a smaller extent are named weak acids. The thus protonic acid, namely HCl, H2SO4, HNO3 are strong acids, whereas CH3COH, HF, and HCN are weak acids. It is the extent of ionization of an acid which measures the strength of acid. Let us consider the ionization of an acid Ha, which is represented by Ha is equals to H give rise to H positive plus A positive. The equilibrium constant for the reaction K is equals to concentration of H positive into concentration of A negative divided by Ha, where H A positive, H A negative, and Ha are the molar concentration of H positive, A negative, and the undissociated Ha. K is known as the dissociation constant or ionization constant of the acid. The magnitude of Ka measures the relative strength of the acid. The stronger the acid, the larger is the value of Ka. It is convenient to use the term pKa to express the dissociation of an acid. pKa is equals to minus of log of Ka. A larger value of pK means that the acid is little dissociated. It implies that acid is weak. Thus, larger the value of pKa, weaker is the acid. Trends in acidic strength. We have learned that the relative strength of acid in aqueous solution can be easily expressed in terms of pKa value. The higher the value of pKa, the weaker is the acid, or the vice versa. Let us evaluate how the acidity of binary hydrate depends upon the nature of the compounds, its molecular structure, or its position in periodic table. A comparison of pKa value of binary hydrates reveals that on moving from left to right across a period, the strength of binary acid increases. That is, for example, the acidic strength of binary acid along the second period decreases H2O, H2, HF, H2O, then NH3, then CH4. The observed trend can be easily explained on the basis of electronegativity of the element as one moves from left to right along a period. It is very important to note that change size does not change greatly across a period. With the increase in the electronegativity of the central atom, the tendency to pull the electron pair from the hydrogen increases. This facilitates the release of hydrogen in the form of proton and makes hydride ion more acidic in nature. On similar consideration, we can explain the acidic strength of binary hydrates of third period HCl, H2S, and pH3. A comparison of pK values of binary hydrates reveal the relative strength of the acid increases as one moves down the group. An inspection of pK reveals that HF is a weaker acid than HI. Here is the trend in these following trends. Okay? Next is strength of organic acids, and our next topic is effect of solvent on the acid strength, that is leveling effect. The strength of an acid or a base depend largely on the nature of the solvent used for its dissolution. Let us consider the dissolution of hydrogen chloride in three different, which ammonia, water, and sulfuric acid. One can clearly see that HOClO is a strong bonded acid in NH3, a weaker base in water, and a strong base in H2SO4. The acidity or basicity of a protonic solvent plays an important role in choosing a solvent for a chemical reaction. The strongest acid which is available in a protonic solvent is that which results from the self-ionization of the solvent. Likewise, the strong base available is that which results from the self-ionization of the solvent. Let us consider, for example, the auto-ionization of the reactions. In aqueous solution, the strongest acid which can exist and which can be available for the reaction is the hydronium ion. It means all the strong acids known to be chemist appear to have exactly equal strength in aqueous solution. This results from the fact that acids such as perchloric, hydroiodide, hydrobromic, nitric, and hydrochloric acid are stronger proton donor than the hydronium ion. Thus, all these acids react completely with water to give hydronium ion. Similarly, the very strong base such as hydride, amide, and ethoxide ion all react completely in aqueous solution to yield OH negative ions. Next is empirical relation for calculating pK of an acid. Linus Pauling formulated an empirical relationship to determine the strength of various oxo acids that can be expressed OMeOHN. The successive pK values of oxo acid usually differ by 5 pK unit. If M is equals to 0, pK is greater than or equal to 7, that is very weak acid. M is equals to 1, pK is equals to 2, weak acid. M is equals to 2, pK is equals to minus 3, strong acid. M is equals to 3, pK is equals to minus 8, that is very strong acid. It is interesting to note that the number of H group appears to have little or no effect on the strength of acid. Next is Ricky's formula. Another empirical relation for the calculation of pK of an acid has been developed by Ricky. This relationship is pK is equals to 8 minus m into 9 plus n into 4, where m is equals to formal charge on the heteroatom, n is equals to number of hydroxyl oxygen atom. Formal charge periodic group number minus 1 by 2 of number of shared electrons minus number of unshared electrons around the heteroatom. Experimentally, the value of Ricci formula is found to be 9. Similarly, the acidic strength of HCl and HClO4 can be calculated by the Ricci's formula. Here is the acid strength of hydrated cations. Hydroxides of reactive metals are strong base, whereas hydroxide of non-metals are acidic. Hydroxides of element near the borderline between metals and non-metals in the periodic table are amphoteric. It means that they can react either as acids or bases. With acids they react as bases, or with bases they react as acids. When a solution of aluminium H2O63 opposed to a strong base such as potassium hydroxide is added, protons are transferred from the hydrated ion to a base. The following reaction takes place. Addition of OH negative ions shift all the 4 equilibria shown above to the right. As hydroxide ions are added to a solution containing AlH2O63 positive ions, insoluble AlH2O3OH3 written frequently as aluminium hydroxide is precipitated out, which dissolves in the presence of excess of OH negative ions. Next is role of solvent on the strength of Lewis acid and base. A solvent plays an important role on the strength of Lewis acid and base. A Lewis acid on hydrolysis may produce a stronger acid than Lewis acid itself. For example, boron trichloride, which is a Lewis acid, undergo hydrolysis with the evolution of HCl. The sequence of steps followed in the hydrolysis are outlined below. The first step involves the attack of water molecule on the vacant 2p orbitals of boron. A lone pair of electrons from water is donated to the empty orbital of boron with the formation of coordinate bond. The second step involves the loss of one HCl molecule. In doing so, one of the chlorine of BCl3 is replaced by one OH group. The third step involves the repetition of the above steps till all the chlorine are replaced by hydroxyl group and one get boric acid. Another interesting example where the role of solvent is greatly appreciated is the hydrolysis of silicon tetrachloride to afford silica acid. So here is all about this chapter. Thank you and have a cheerful day.